known to play mine to a T, but it's time for me to lead, picking dirt right out the cleats. Steep path, roadblocks in the streets, trying to knock me off my feet, cause the devil never sleeps. So I don't sleep too, and trying to breach safes that I didn't have the keys to. We all been victims of trauma we ain't agreed to, but the sun comes after, starting up a new chapter.
Isn't it lovely? I ain't looking back and focus on what's in front of me. Everybody dates a number, but I'm still here luckily. I know that God got me, so I'm in good company. Isn't it lovely?
Hey, everybody. What's up? It's your boy, Dubby Dubois. You know, we're here, Epis Radio, number 49. Riding solo today. Maddie just closed out mental health show, and here we are. We're going to do our Epis Radio doubleheader. We're going to try this and see how it goes. You know, maybe we could make it a regular thing. So, guys, you know, where do we start? Number 49. So, big sports weekend. Me, Maddie, we haven't been on for a bit. We had a little live show about a week ago or so. But regardless, last time we spoke, we were talking about the NFL and how the next few weeks will be so crucial because you had so much parity and whatnot. And I think a lot of things we found out and a lot of teams got put to bed this weekend. We're going to talk about that. But before we talk about that, we're going to be talking about someone else who got put to bed this weekend, and that is the legendary Notre Dame Fighting Irish football program, the 2025 version of them. As we know, the playoff bracket came out this weekend on Sunday? Yeah, I think it was Sunday yesterday morning, and the Irish were omitted. And this is a Notre Dame team. When you looked at the projected playoff bracket all season, as they had them in almost every place, including the official place, the NCAA's rankings, Notre Dame was in the right place. And the controversy with Notre Dame not making the playoff is the fact that they didn't. It wasn't through any fault of their own, because, like I said before, this weekend they were above Miami, they were above Alabama, and they didn't lose. Just that BYU lost. And BYU losing, it changed like the whole positioning of the rankings. And I don't understand it. I'm not going to act like I do, because NCAA every year is something else. It's like they get one playoff system, then they compound. They fix it a little bit every year. And they've been doing this for 20 years. They fixed the BCS, but remember they had BCS bowl games. They would originally, when I was a kid, they would just have one bowl game, number 1 and 2. They would try to put them together. Sometimes that didn't work out. Eventually, they got their 14 playoff system, you know, and as we know, in the modern era, and now they're expanding it. So many changes happening through college football. It's a lot to keep up with, but with the conferences and everyone and all the NIL and the money getting thrown out. But one thing that has been consistent is the popularity and notoriety of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So when they're missing from the playoff and they're crying like they were after this, I mean, they were crying, guys. There was a couple of articles up, ESPN articles, a couple other articles up. The AD, the athletic director of Notre Dame, was complaining. He's talking about the ACC. He's talking about how being a part of the ACC, because Notre Dame is part of the ACC except the football program. The football program is the only part that has remained independent. And if you know your history of Notre Dame, they've never ran with anyone. They've always been independent. You know, they're like the Cowboys or the Yankees say have you, or the Celtics, Lakers of college football. You guys know. But so past few years, they joined the ACC. Especially through the basketball program, female and men's, and all volleyball, everything. They joined the ACC except for the football program, because they want to keep that tradition. So, but with that said, the athletic director, Notre Dame's athletic director, is saying that being a part of the conference hurt them, and then he said the conference doesn't give a damn about them. He was talking about how the conference check this out, guys. Though this is what I call him a crybaby. But I don't know, he might be right. It might have had some influence and some bearing on them getting swapped out. But here it is. The Irish they claimed that the ACC on the network, on the ACC network, they kept playing Miami footage and footage of Miami's win over them and Miami big wins of Miami's had. Obviously, Miami being a 1,000% ACC team, you know? So they felt like it was a bias towards Miami, and it helped the committee change their mind. So like they feel like the ACC network and the ACC it was a propaganda machine for Miami. That's how they were complaining. You know what it remind me of? You know what it remind me of, guys, when as I say that? And the person who perpetrated this same thing we call the crybaby, a lot of us did, it's Drake. Yeah, Drake, Aubrey Drake Graham. Drake, the great artist, entertainer. When he was dissed, when the diss record to Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us, when that came out, like Miami, hear me out, guys. Let me go with this. And maybe some of you guys got on where I'm going. Like Miami and Notre Dame, they were on in the same conference. Kendrick and Drake were on the same record label, and they were going at it. Like Miami and Notre Dame, going at it for a playoff spot. Miami and Notre Dame played each other, guys. Miami beat them. Miami beat them. Miami beat them. Obviously, afterwards, Notre Dame got hot, and Notre Dame played a strong schedule in the beginning of the year. They played A&M, they played Miami, they lost those games, but they played other teams. You know, they played a tough schedule. They played Michigan. You know, they played OSU a lot. So, with that said, yeah, using the Kendrick and Drake being on the same record label, and Drake being mad at the record label because they feel like they kept streaming Not Like Us and promoting Not Like Us, a song that was hurting Drake. He felt like the song calls me things that aren't true, and it's hurting my image, it's hurting my likeness. And that's kind of where I'm using that comparison. But it's pretty interesting though. But I thought it was pretty interesting, at least so. But yeah, Notre Dame's pissed off. But listen, honestly, me personally, it's hard to feel sorry for the Irish. You know, it's the shoe's been on the other foot a lot of times with them. It's kind of like the Chiefs, finally getting their just desserts. So it's hard to feel sorry for guys, who are always winning. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm hating on them. I've never been a Notre Dame guy. It's probably the same way some people would never feel sorry for the Yankees, and some people would never feel sorry for Dallas or whoever have you, any of these teams. And Notre Dame, they have their own network. They have their own channel. What are you gonna do, man? You guys are gonna be all right. But they cried so much that they wanted to. Let me see what's going on in the chat. They wanted to get out, or they did. They excluded themselves from the bowl games. Period. So the fact that they can't get in a playoff bowl game, they said we're not coming. They took their ball. They went back to South Bend, Indiana. And as far as I'm concerned, good riddance. I don't give a damn. How about you guys? What do you guys think about it? Let's see what we got going on here. Who's in the chat? Anybody in the chat yet? Yeah, there goes Gino. They were ahead of Miami, Gino, and they all of a sudden they got swapped out. But a lot of people felt like they should never have been ahead of Miami. Miami had such that hot start. So when they digressed, people want to throw them in the trash. But then again, Alabama, the same thing. So, Alabama is Notre Dame-ish. They have more clout than Notre Dame probably. So, Notre Dame, Alabama, the NCAA, as we say this every year, they have a lot of work to do. And after this playoff is over, something's going to happen during the playoff that make us say, blah, whatever, and it needs fixing. What is it, guys? 14 teams? What was the number? Yeah, they lost. They behind Miami. They didn't lose. They didn't play games. Now they're behind Miami. The committee didn't have to put BYU anymore, and then they wanted. I don't even know how do the teams like Is it James Madison in there? How does that work? I'm not gonna act like I know, guys. You guys help me out later or something, and I'll be the curious guy who doesn't know. I never said I know everything. How does that work? Like Tulane, I know. What's the deal? We need some. Yeah. Yeah. That year that Florida State came, got kept out. That was the year the quarterback got hurt, wasn't it? And then the committee shitted on them. They were undefeated or lost one game. And I think the quarterback got hurt. So Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Gino, is listen, the NCAA has to fix this because we can do this all day. What about the year this? Because like we said, this has been going on for 20 years, and every year is something. It gets corny after a while, but you know, shit. So the Irish are not going to play in a bowl game. They don't want any part of it. If you want to see that tremendous running back they have, you're going to have to wait for the NFL next year. You know, and that kid literally looks like a player. What's that kid's name? Damn, guys, man. I don't know if it's the pod or my age. I forget the kid's name. Yeah. But yeah, you guys save me on that one later. I'm not going to look him up. So yeah, we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about America's sport. Not America's pastime, America's real sport. The elegant but brutal and violent National Football League. Okay, so I don't even know where to start with you guys. So there's so many places. I'm going over the list. I was talking to my guy earlier, and I was going over the list, telling him what I'm going to do on the show. And I told him I have a lot of football games to cover. And there's so many different places we can go with it. But I think I'm going to start with drum roll. We're going to start with where are we at here? There's the scoreboard. We're going to start in Cleveland. We have to. We have to start in Cleveland. In the loser bowl, the bum bowl, the worst two of the worst teams in the league. Two good friends, quarterbacks going head to head for their first games against each other ever. You know the relationship between Shedeur Sanders and the phenom Cam Ward, and the awful Titans who had one win going in to this one, to go ahead against the 3-win Browns. So you guys know what happened in the game. Listen, the only reason we're talking about this game is because of Mr. Sanders. Let's be real. We don't talk about Titan games on here unless they're relevant, and the Titans unless they're playing someone and it can be a spoiler, they're irrelevant. It's because of Mr. Sanders. Mr. Sanders, what is this? His third start? This is his third career start. The second one was really not good at all. The first one, you saw some glimpses, but he's looked like a 5th round, 6th round pick in the 2 games he played. We talk about him all the time, what he can and can't do. And here he is getting his opportunity finally. But it seems like he's getting the opportunity from this team whose head coach really hates his guts. It really feels like Kevin Stefanski hates Shedeur Sanders, because it just looks like, I mean, it's hard not to see it that way, because going into that game, Shedeur was phenomenal, guys, as you know, yesterday. Pulling up the numbers, pulling up Shedeur's numbers. He, oh, wow, I can see better without the glasses. Go figure. He was 23 of 42, 364 yards, including a 60-yard bomb to Jerry Jeudy. And he also had a beautiful touchdown pass to Njoku. He had 3 touchdowns, sacked twice. Cam Ward on the other end, 14 of 28, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 9 times. Cam Ward, you have to understand that he was going against one of the most vicious, dangerous defenses in the league, and the Cleveland Browns, led by Myles Garrett. Oh, excuse me. With that said, so now Shedeur, he was phenomenal, guys. Phenomenal. Started off red hot, here it is. Shedeur red hot. First quarter, he gets 2 touchdown passes. He's on fire. They take the lead. They're in control of the game. Eventually, Tony Pollard starts to do his thing. He runs down the Browns along with the Titans. They run them down. Fourth quarter, the Browns started leading comeback. Shedeur makes a couple more touchdown passes in the fourth quarter. He's starting to heat up again. And at that point, even the last drive, where they're down 8 points, they're down 31-23, with an opportunity to tie the game. Shedeur throws a touchdown pass, 31-29. But what does Kevin Stefanski do? Matty B's going to put it, my super producer and super partner, host, Matty B, he's going to put us down and show you guys. What does he do? He runs this play, right? He runs this stupid whatever that is. The running back ends up throwing the ball. Why you take the ball out the kid's hand? And it's like he does it all the time. If that was Dylan Gabriel, would he have done that? Why does he hate Shador so much? I mean, I get it. Shador probably is a little, maybe he rubs him wrong, but at the end of the day, you have to work with him. He's your quarterback. Now Stefanski, through the backlash, and everyone, all of the media outlets are saying that that Stefanski hates Shador. And it's hard. Even the people who don't like Shador, the people who don't think he's any good, even as long as they're objective, they're like, yeah, it looks like the coach hates bro. The coach hates little bro. Like, yeah. Even the Shador objectors, they'll say it. Because Stefanski can't make it any more obvious. It looks like you hate the guy, bro. Like, what are you doing? Every week is something else. But so I feel like the backlash has gotten so strong with Stefanski, and he's going to be rocking with Elvis and Brian Daboll in any minute right now. He's going to be with Tupac, Elvis, and Brian Daboll. So, like, really, like Stefanski, it's like these guys they want to get fired because, the season is what it is. You got this all-world defensive player, like a man who's in the same who they use in the same who they call the Reggie White of his era, or the Lawrence Taylor of his era, or more recently the Aaron Donald of his era. Miles, I'm gonna sack you, Garrett. And this guy he said he did not want to be there before the season started. You guys threw a bunch of money in his face, hard for the man to pass up. He takes the bag. And guess what he does? He performs. This guy's getting 3 and 4 sack games. He's getting 4 sacks in a game and he's losing these games. What is he supposed to do? You got people complain, some of these players, they make all this money, they don't want to play, but that's not the case with Myles Garrett. He's got the bag and he's still ripping quarterbacks apart. He just passed Lawrence Taylor on the all-time sack list. He's 28 years old. You're wasting him. You're wasting him. You got Deshaun Watson on the back burner. What are we doing? So what are you going to do with Sanders? You took 2 quarterbacks in the draft. You had 8 quarterbacks in the room. And I got to imagine, I don't know all the inner workings of the Cleveland Brown organization, but I believe Kevin Stefanski has a lot to say so, much like my coach, Aaron Glenn. He looks like he has a lot to say so, and they give him the keys to the Ferrari. And what has he done? He definitely, he's not driving it right. So it doesn't matter if he likes Shador or not. He is your quarterback, bro. You're the head coach. That relationship is what wins are all about in the National Football League. The quarterback head coach relationship, it's something that the Giants will be looking for when they go looking for a head coach next year. And I was talking to Gino earlier. We're talking about who they look for. I was saying, listen, and maybe Mike Tomlin's going to be available because even though they had a big win yesterday. So let's talk about that. But going on, yeah, man, the Browns, I don't know what they're going to do going forward, but Shador showed a lot yesterday, and I'm glad he was named quarterback for the rest of the season. Stefanski threw the people a bone because I think he felt the pressure like, damn, everyone really sees I hate this kid. I'm not hiding it. The emotions are on your sleeve, bro. You hate the kid. And he just named him the starter to prove to us that he doesn't hate him, which is cap. Okay. So now, like I said, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the AFC North battle. Since we're talking about the Browns, we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about the Steelers and the Ravens yesterday. Big game. 2 6-6 football teams, and they went head to head. Division dominance on the line, or division title on the line. You could say. I'm not saying it was for the title, but it's gonna. This game is very important going forward for the division title. Final score: Steelers 27, Ravens 22 in Baltimore. One thing I've realized about this game, when I noticed in looking at it, is since Lamar Jackson's been back, he hasn't been the same. He doesn't seem like you think he has 1 rushing touchdown this year, or is it 0? I know he's been out, but let me see. Lamar Jackson. Here he is, guys. Bear with me, my friends. Yeah, he is rushing. Yeah, he doesn't. He has 1 rushing touchdown this season. All season, guys. No. Let me see. Yeah, Yeah. He's got one rushing touchdown. No, he got two. He had the second one yesterday. Sorry. Okay. So coming into the game, he had one rushing touchdown. Usually I got the great Matty B to save my ass right there, but it's okay. Yeah, but it doesn't look like, I don't know if it's from the injury this season, the hammy, and he's just, he's tentative to run on it. He could feel a little bit apprehensive, or it's just him slowing down. But it looked like he changed the game when Lamar is just effective passing the football and he can't run it. So now we're putting more pressure on the older Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry is supposed to be there to help Lamar. So, I mean, the proof is in the pudding, ladies and gentlemen. One of them have to win the division. Both of those teams, I think, have a lot of struggles, are on the way down. I mean, Pittsburgh does the same thing every year, 10-7. That's why, they're over my coach Tomlin. 10-7 seems like it'll win this thing. What do we have? 5 games left. Baltimore dropped to 6-7 in the loss. Pittsburgh went to 7-6. Cincinnati losing that game to Buffalo pretty much finished them off. We're going to talk about that debacle, that choke job, shortly, right after this one. But this is what I have to say about that. Because one of these two teams are going to win a division and they're going to get bumped in the first game they play. And it'll probably be a home game. One of the road team wild cards will go in there and smack them. It's going to be a home game because the division winner gets the home game. So one of them are going to finish 9-8 or 10-7, and they're going to win a division, mediocre as heck. And then one of the Chargers or a Jaguar / Texans or whoever doesn't win the South are going to go in there and kick their ass. And that's what's going to happen. And you know why? Because those teams are finished. You know why those teams are finished? Because they have tried the same thing and hope it would work for too long. And I say that, and that leads me into their both teams' situations at the head coaching position. Let's start with Pittsburgh. Coach Tomlin. I love Mike Tomlin. Young black coach getting the job 20 years ago. Thrilled. Great job. He's done a great job. He's had his detractors. Some people say that he's had Coach what's my guy's name, the chick, Coach Cowher, Bill Cowher's team. And fine. But he won a Super Bowl, bottom line in that. And then the way he carries himself and he's built a relationship with the Rooneys, and he's won enough football games to stay there a long time. They've lost games. He went to his own Super Bowl against the Packers. They lost that one. I would say that was his Super Bowl because he did that 3 or 4 years after they beat whoever the hell it was. They beat Seattle in 06. So yeah, this guy's taken over like in 07. Yeah, he's there 18 years. Yeah, that Super Bowl, the Jerome Bettis one, was the Cowher Super Bowl. Tomlin takes over the next year. Tomlin takes over the next year. Or did he win it? No. When did Tomlin win, guys? Or was it whatever, but he came in and he won a Super Bowl with Ben, and Ben won one. Ben won one with Cowher, Ben won one with Tomlin. I think it's time for him to move on. I think it would benefit him. People are like, oh, at first I was like that. Nah, leave Coach Cowher alone. Y'all disrespectful. Coach Cowher's a great coach. And if he leaves Pittsburgh, he's going to get hired the next day. And in a bunch of places. One of them I was thinking maybe New York, and should I say New Jersey, New York Giants. That would be a good spot for him. Because when you look at Coach Cowher, let's think about it. He's been there 18 years. When Coach Cowher first came to the organization, he was the kind of guy, he was a young coach, 34, 35 years old, and he was more open, and he probably was more softer. Not only soft, like, Coach Cowher's a tough guy, but more approachable. And he had guys, and guys liked him. Guys wanted to play for him. I haven't heard anyone say they want to play for Coach Tomlin in a long time. When you look at how the George Pickens situation was handled, he doesn't look like the player's coach anymore. And maybe it's just time. Maybe, he's become bigger than the players. Like, he is the program. So, like, after a while, it's hard for a coach to hear well or see differently. And this way hasn't worked. So maybe it's time for Coach Tomlin to move on. Maybe he can go to a New York, to a New York Giants or Miami Dolphins, because McDaniels probably won't make it out of there this year. and build new relationships. Because once he builds new relationships, he doesn't know anyone there. He's going to be able to open up a little more and chill, just a new, fresh beginning. Maybe he needs a new desk. He needs a new parking lot and some new parking attendants. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's time for him. And same thing with Coach Harbaugh in Baltimore. The only difference between is Harbaugh has a relationship with the quarterback. Harbaugh has a relationship with Lamar Jackson. A good relationship. Coach Cowher don't give a shit about them. I'm Coach. I keep saying Coach Cowher. Coach Tomlin doesn't give a shit about any of those guys. You saw Kenny Pickett. He put Kenny Pickett in a box. And he shipped him out of. He stamped the box, brought it to the post office, got him out of there. Kenny Pickett, he doesn't care. It's none of those players. George Pickens hated him. It's not like he's the brother coach, the cool brother coach who guys want to play for. These guys they don't like him, I don't think. I think he's probably just a robot at this point, or he's probably cold. I don't know. But it just seems like it might be time. And the fact that he hasn't had that one shitty year so the Loonies can get rid of him, he's always going to win 10 games. He's always in 9 games. He's always enough to get in the playoffs. And this year it's going to be no different because Baltimore looks like they're cooked. And Coach Thomas will have his team ready for that in their wherewithal. They're a disciplined bunch still. They're the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they're not the Steelers. So I just think maybe it's time. And as soon as both of those guys move on, and if those two teams want, they can get a draft pick for those coaches. They can get a draft pick, a first-round pick for Tomlin. You get a first-round pick for John Harbaugh. John, he's won a Super Bowl there. They went back, yeah. But, they haven't been back since. With Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. That was a while ago. I don't know. What do you Baltimore Raven fans think? Are y'all done with Harbaugh? Let me see what the chat thinks. I got the book closed. Let me look at the chat. We up here. Let me see what's up with the chat. See what the chat thinks. I'm in no rush. Yeah, the first time I was telling Maddie B, the first time I came and did a solo, I was so nervous. And man, I feel good, man. I feel comfortable here with y'all. So, Jeremiah Love. Thanks, Cuzzo. Thanks, Gino. Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame. Oh, man. That kid is a hell of a runner. And I can't wait to see him in the next level. I think he's going to be the next big thing, yeah. See YouTube chat? Yeah, man. So, I don't know. I think it just might be time for those teams to move on. One of them is going to make the playoffs. But what does that mean? What happens if they get beat 20-3 at home or 20-6? Because both of them look like they can't score points in a big spot. Baltimore used to be able to score big points, and they used to be able to shoot it out with people. Now they can't even score no more. And their defense is still, I see. Ipa mal, ipa sab. As you say in Creole, it's all right. Ipa sab. It's not, it's all right. Oh, man. Let me see. Let me see what we going on YouTube. YouTube chat. Yeah, man. Let me see the next NFL game up. I'm going to get that up for you guys. Start talking about that one as I find my YouTube. Epis Radio, YouTube style. Here we go. Okay. Okay, Manny. Handball, what's up? We're here. Handball's in the YouTube chat. I'm going to hit you up underneath my YouTube account, my Dubby Dubois page. Handball, what's up, baby? What's going on? What's the word? We out here talking about these NFL games. Okay, so we went over through the AFC North ones real quick. There's so much stuff, so I got to get to another very important game, another game that gave us a lot of insight and clarity to what we have to look at going forward, and that was the Indianapolis Colts home against, at Jacksonville in a an AFC South showdown. Both teams coming in 8-4. I feel like Chris Berman right now. One needs the music. Keith Nelly Jackson. So big game going in. As you know, the Colts, they were 8-2 3 weeks ago, and they have struggled since. I'm looking at the Colts. I was talking to Matty B during the week. I called him up Sometimes, we act like, we put the wagers in. I'll talk shit about gambling, but I do definitely indulge responsibly. And I hit Matty B up. I said, Matty B, my boy, my guy, pots and pans, my man. I said, I'm looking at these Texans. They're getting 350 plus on the money to win the division. They're game back. They've won 5 in a row. They're 7-6. And they were 7-5. And going into Sunday, they were 7-5. And Indianapolis and Jacksonville were 8-4, and they were going to play each other. I said, hey, bro, D'Amico Ryan's got these boys playing. You feeling it? Stroud's playing better. I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple shekels, put anywhere between 20 and $100 on that. Futures, you heard? And I did that. And the cash out is more than I put now. You heard? Because the Texans took care of their business in Kansas City, and then what happened in Indianapolis happened because the Colts season ended, not because they lost the game, because they lost their quarterback. And it's interesting, in that conversation I had with my brother Matty B, I talked about, he's like, I said, Daniel Jones, it's the same thing we went bet against him last week. I said, he has fractured leg. He has a hairline fracture in his leg. He's playing with a fractured leg, with a broken bone. I mean, not broken enough where he couldn't play, but broken enough to hamper him, and broken enough for him to overcompensate his body, where he would end up tearing his Achilles in yesterday's game and ending his season and pretty much just destroying all the hopes and dreams of the Colts. Because not only for this season, but going forward, the Colts traded their first round pick for Sauce Gardner. They traded 2 of them. They had plans. They were 8-2. They were looking right there. They were rocking with New England and Denver. They were the surprise. Right? Let me look. What you guys got going on? Yeah, it's more people in Twitch. It's hard to keep up with both, so I'm gonna stay here for a minute. Yeah, so the Colts had it going on, right? We got here. I feel like this froze. Mhm. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, the Colts had it going on, guys, and shit, it's just like that. In a snap of a fingers, 3 weeks, the season is over. Here it goes. Um, yes, so the Colts, they have November 9th was their last win. They beat the Falcons 31-25 in Berlin. That would put them at 8-2. After that, they went to Kansas City, tough game. They lost 23-20 in OT. No problem, tough loss. It happens. Kansas City needed it. Last week, big game against the Texans. That was the one me and Maddie went together on it. And that's the one me and Maddie went on together. And we hit that. That's when we were talking about Danny Dimes and his fractured leg. And, the ride might be over, Cinderella, pumpkin, all that stuff. And we hit that one. And then that's when I told him, I was like, yeah, I like them. And, Danny's legs gave out. Like I said, probably overcompensating. And he tore his Achilles. And it's a shame. It killed Danny. He was really doing his thing. He looked like the quarterback of the future for them. And now all of that is over with this injury. Debilitating, devastating, the worst injury in sports, the Achilles tear, the Achilles tendon. Every athlete fears, professionally, amateur, doesn't matter. Everybody's scared of that, including me. Wow. So the Colts, all of their hopes and dreams, like I said, obviously the Colts felt like they had big things going on if they were able to package all those picks to the New York Jets for Sauce Gardner. Now they're stuck with him, he's in concussion protocol as well. And we're looking good now. The Jets, their record is going to go get worse. Our pick we got from them is this year. It's going to go up. I believe it's this year. It probably is because they had a good record. They probably felt like, yeah, we'll just give them this one. It's going to be 25 or something. No, it's going to be 12. So the Colts season is over. Their odds to win the AFC South is plus 15,000. Yes, and they're only 1 game back. Their season is over. Go polish Anthony Richardson, get him ready. And the Jaguars, on the other hand, they're doing their thing. And they are going to go into next week to battle the Texans, I believe. No, I'm sorry. The Jaguars have the Jets next week. So, the Jets have a meaningful game next week. We could spoil them. We travel down. They come down here by my neck of the woods, Jacksonville, which is 2 hours away from me, to play the Jags. Man, I'll be nice to go to that BA. I don't work next Sunday. Wow. Oh. Okay, so that's going to be next Sunday, though, at 1 o'clock, Jags, Jets. And that would be a big one. But yes, so now let's talk about that other game, that other AFC South team. The Texans, they went into Kansas City, Sunday nighter. And they did what they wanted to do with the Chiefs. Probably Patrick Mahomes' worst start I've ever seen them in. I can remember. They were awful yesterday. He did everything he could do, but the team was awful. Kelsey looked like an old man. He dropped passes. He dropped the pass that turned into the turnover that lost him the game. The thing that killed me, though, is Travis Kelsey kills me, guys. I just want to hold on. Before I get into Travis Kelsey, D'Amico Ryans and the Houston Texans, Mr. Stroud, Ryan, the coach Ryans and the Texans, great job. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, the witch is dead. And it was fitting that it was the Texans. Because if you guys remember last year, and me being one of the people, I blasted the Texans after their playoff loss that Saturday afternoon, evening playoff loss that they had to the Chiefs in January. The Chiefs went in there, and I believe it was a road game, I believe. No, that game was in Kansas City. It was in Kansas City. I'm tripping. The Chiefs were like 15-1 last year. Some shit like that, 15-2. But the Texans went in there, and that was one of the games where people say in Kansas City, the referees and what have you, and the referee, it was one of those big ones, and it was a playoff game. There were some calls where the Texans had played great in the first half, but ultimately some calls had went against them. And the Chiefs and Mahomes were able to take over, win a football game. And the Texans cried murder, bloody murder. Well, I was telling the magician, Matty B, I was telling him, like, yo, the Texans have a great opportunity. He's telling those guys, you remember what happened to us last year? Everyone's against us. The refs, everyone in the world. The Epis radio's against us too. D'Amico Ryan was going to tell them anything, and it worked. They put down the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are not mathematically dead, but I think it's like a 6% chance they make the playoffs. They're 6-7. What is it? They got four games left. Yeah, 17 games now. Doesn't look good for them. They got to get a wild card. The Broncos have clinched the division title. Oh, well, the Broncos they clinched the division title. No, they have. I'm sorry. The Chargers are still on their ass. And the Chargers will be playing the Eagles tonight. And it's a very big game. I'd be remiss if I brought up the Eagle Charger game and I didn't talk about what they got going on around them. And the Eagles had the Cowboys chasing them until the Cowboys really just weren't able to do anything to stop the Lions. It's crazy because I was talking to Gino and I was talking to a couple of other guys. I don't remember who, but I was telling them, I was like, listen, George Pickens, man, this guy, he's so good. He's his route running, all the intricacies and the nuances of his game. He is really that deal. I brought him up earlier with Pittsburgh, and I wasn't, and I will bring him up now because I have to say there's a reason Coach Tomlin didn't care for him. Besides Coach Tomlin being more cold-hearted than Omarion. Besides that, George Pickens doesn't play all the time, and he showed that on Thursday against the Lions. He take plays off, and we just can't have that, man. He checked out, he checks out, and he looked like he went in business for himself. Oh, that reminds me, I did forget about one thing. That Kansas City thing I said before I talk about Mr. Kelsey, then I went off. Mr. Kelsey, another one, it seems like he's in business for himself. Mr. Kelsey, this is a guy who the NFL has romanticized his relationship, and he's made buku money off of it because of that. The way the NFL has marketed his relationship with the legendary country singer, pop singer Taylor Swift. Travis Kelsey has gotten everything from the NFL, and him and his brother. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve anything or what he does or doesn't deserve. Sometimes it's a little bit of luck, opportunity, capitalization, whatever. But anytime there's a microphone, Travis Kelce's ready to talk and jump in front of it. You know, the handsome tight end with the superstar girlfriend. He's that guy. He's the man. Yesterday, he was awful on the football field. He looked like an old man. He dropped the pass, like I was saying earlier. He dropped the pass that would turn into an intercept, turn into a turnover, and he lost in the football game. After the game, I seen crazy ass Andy Reid out there talking. Andy Reid's a little cuckoo now. I don't know, man. And then Pat Mahomes was there, and the guys were there. Why was Travis Kelce not at the presser? Why couldn't he stick around and answer some questions? When it's the camera's in your face, and then people want to praise you and put you and raise you up like you're Simba, you're all for it. Why are you not at the presser? To talk about what happened there. And because you're there when you've been great. It's not like you have anything to be ashamed of. It's okay. You're Travis Kelce, bro. Like, fuck, bro, go to the presser. These guys are selfish pickings. Now you know whether Jerry's not going to get Pickens that money. Jerry's not going to get Pickens that money. Why would he? He wouldn't give Michael Parsons the money. Michael Parsons does everything you're supposed to do as a player. Michael Parsons wouldn't make a meeting. You know what I mean? His mother to be nice to you. Michael Parsons is going to make the meeting. Jerry not going to give George Pickens that money. These players, man, they be tripping, man. He's not the only one on my footage. Let me go get that. He's not the only one. There's a lot of these guys. I'm watching that dude Carter. You know, he's watching porns in the meeting. Then he's getting mad because people criticizing him. He mad at Carl Banks for criticizing him. You got one sack, bro. You got one sack. Number 2 pick in the draft. You're watching porn in the meeting, bro. Imagine I'm parking cars at the kids. I'm parking cars and shit. I'm watching a porn. Who watches porn at work? That's sick. My foot's still itching. Probably because I started talking about this scumbag, Abdul Carter. I gotta scratch the itch. Sorry. Maybe it's a lot of too much information for you guys, but I'm good. He's watching porn, man. I mean, I didn't even think I was going to go on a tangent, but I was complaining about like these players, man. It's a crapshoot. Because I was talking about Myles Garrett before, me who got money, and that's why I give him his props because he could check out. He got guaranteed money. He could check out. This dude playing to another level since he got paid, like the Lawrence Taylor of his era, for real. Not Abdul Carter, who asked for 56 before he was even drafted. This guy asked for number 11 for Phil Simms' number before he's even drafted. Carl Banks criticized him a little bit. He goes crazy. He said something bad about me. You old, you never been in the Hall of Fame, this shit, that. He started ripping Carl Banks, bro. You know what Carl Banks is? Obviously you don't. And then, forget about Carl Banks because your teammates don't even like it. They're your age. They're not feeling it. None of the shit you doing, bro. The old heads, your OGs, some 28, 29-year-old guys, they're not feeling this shit, Abdul. You need to get it together because there's a new regime coming in and they don't care about you. They didn't draft you. Joe Shea ain't going to be gone. He's not going to be able to help you. Yeah, Joe Shea gone. So, yeah, man, what other games do we got on the NFL doc? I just want to say that about, as the game. Because listen, if you can produce like a superstar, like a LeBron, because LeBron's selfish too. But he's been selfish a lot of his career. Me, and you can see it. Ryu Hachimura hits the shot, win the game. LeBron's on the other side of the court. He has to get adulation and do the thing with the crowd. His teammate Muhammad, LeBron's over there. But he could do that. You know what I'm saying? He could do that. You can't miss meetings to Abdul Carter. You know? You can't. What's my other boy name in Buffalo? Keon Coleman, missing meetings. Keon, everybody like you and everything. You came up, you mad engaging in Instagram. People like you, the old heads like you, funny young guy, but you ain't catching the football and you missing meetings and then you dancing on the sideline. So, but I like Keon. Keon gonna be all right, I think. But I don't know about Abdul. But that brings me to talk about the Giants. Yeah, sorry guys. So the Giants, they got 2 wins right now. Looking at Tankathon, let me get to the rest of the schedule, guys. But we're staying on this NFL topic. Looking at Tankathon, the Giants have the #1 pick in the draft right now. They're tied with the Raiders and Tennessee. 2 of those teams don't need a quarterback. Cleveland is 4th at 3-10. The Jets are right now, they're 7th. They're 3-10. So there's 8 teams that are between the Giants and Arizona. There's 8 teams that are either 2-11. 3 of them are 2-11. 5 of them are 3-10. So those are going to be the teams fighting for that last pick. The Giants are going to be in a great position because they have their quarterback, and you know, with the kid from Indiana being available and him being, I mean, he's not the Peyton Manning. Listen, man, hey, shit. That quarterback's not available this year. Maybe next year with Arch. And by the way, Arch, listen, I'm watching Arch this year. That boy's a bad boy, bro. He athletic as hell, bro. He getting better. Bro, he for real, bro. Like, you could see it. Like, I'm starting to see it, yo, but he got the athleticism of he's not the if he didn't get it from Peyton or Eli, but his daddy, Coop, who was a wide receiver, great wide receiver down in New Orleans, in Louisiana, high school receiver. And you can see it in Arch, and he's a real, bro. That shorty right there. I don't know if he can be available if he's gonna come out next year because he don't have to. He's a sophomore now. He could stay in school forever. We already got money. He got that NIL money, and then he's a Manning. So, but we'll see. But with that said, Joe, with the picks available, everyone's always looking for a quarterback. That's what I talk about in the NFL. The three places you win the championship, the 3 phases is strong pass rush, a quarterback, and a good head coach. Those 3 things, and obviously an offensive line. We'll just say the trenches. Good trenches work in the trenches, either side of the ball, head coach, quarterback. The Giants have one of those. They have a quarterback. So the Jets have, I don't know what Aaron Glenn is, but I like so far what I see from him as far as cultivating. Maybe the media doesn't like him, and maybe some of the fans don't like him. He's very kind of like a little surly-ish. His face, he's got that face, like don't fuck with me face. And even the way he's moved with the media a little bit, it looks like that he is like he's defiant. He didn't want to tell him the quarterback. He's always fucking with the media and shit. But it looks like the players want to play for him. And even though we got our asses kicked yesterday, I imagine next week we're gonna give Jaguars hell. I would be scared if I was the Jaguars trap game. He's a Jet fan talking about someone be scared of us. Fuck out of here. So, but I think Aaron Gunn's gonna have an opportunity to select his quarterback this year. He has an offensive line. He has a defensive line who has players who can get to the quarterback. So I like how things are looking up. The Giants have Jackson Dart, and he's very, Scatterable will be back. He had a clean break. His leg was broken clean. He's a maniac. He's going to rehab. He'll be fine. He's young. So we're going to see how things turn out for the New York football teams, but we're not going to spend no more time on them today because as of right now, they're irrelevant. All right, moving on through the schedule. We talked about Texans and Chiefs. We talked about the witch being dead. Bears couldn't handle prosperity. They were 9-3 going, and they were the #1 seed going into the week. They lost a tough one to the Packers. 4th quarter mishaps. They made a couple of they gambled and they lost at the end of the game. Ben Johnson, former Lions coach, you know how to get down over there. They take chances, and it didn't work out for them. And I don't think they have anything to be ashamed of. They're still half a game behind the Lions at 9-4. Sorry, behind the Lions, behind the Packers at 9-4. The Packers are 9-4-1. It's not over. I mean, it's crazy. This is how tight the NFC is. The NFC is so tight. The Bears moved from the 1 seed to the 7th seed with a loss, right? Yeah, 4 games left. Absolutely. 4 games left. Matty B. Yeah. So I said 5 earlier. 4 games, guys. We're in December, deep in December. I think there's one regular season game in January or 2, but we know we got this new schedule, 18-week schedule, 17 games, 1 bye for the Warriors of the National Football League. So yeah, man, the Bears Packers won NFC North Showdown. I like what the Bears got going on regardless. It's a tough game on the road. They could have won it. They should have won it. They didn't. But what are you gonna, it's okay. It's not the end of the world for them. Every other team that we were talking about earlier, that loss was debilitating. The Bears are having a great season. Ben Johnson, probably coach of the year. So listen, fourth loss of the year. And the Packers go to 9-3-1. Also, the Seahawks beat the Falcons. We're just going to go through those also ran games real quick. Seahawks beat the Falcons. Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, found his head. They shut out the Commanders 31-0. Zach Ertz, dirty hit in that game, torn ACL. He was crying coming off the field. Prayers for Zach Ertz, but it looked like it could be over. Probably that's what the tears are about. He probably knew Zach Ertz, a great veteran tight end in the National Football League, world champion. Zach Ertz. Yes, and of course the Saints, man, going into Tampa and defeating the Buccaneers led by Baker Mayfield and Coach Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles under fire right now. Todd Bowles, the docile one. He's got to find some answers there quick because Rico Dowdell, Chuba Hubbard, and the Carolina Panthers are on their ass. And of course, their all-world quarterback was what's his name? Bryce Young. Or I'm gonna get better with these names, guys. I promise, man. I'm working on it. I'll cut down on the Juana. So Bryce Young, and the Panthers, they've got this run game, and that's been able to protect him from his weaknesses, and he's been able to maturate. Because he looked like ass, in the beginning of the year, he's looked like ass his whole career. But Bryce Young, the diminutive 6-foot quarterback for the Panthers, he's doing his thing out there. With Dowdell and Chuba, and they had a bye, and they just sat and watched themselves get tied with the Bucks at 7-6. Oh, wait a minute, yeah, the Panthers are 7-6 and the Bucks 7-6. Of course, the Panthers had that big win against the Rams last week. Like I said, man, the Panthers been taking care of business. 3, 4, 5. They won 5 out of the last 7. Okay. So, yeah. So, those are the insignificant games. Well, I'm going to call Saints Bucks insignificant, but it wasn't a cool game going in. But the Saints made it cool with the big win. So now that leads me to Ravens and Bills. It's just I left that for towards the end of the NFL docket because it's just I don't know, man. Everyone loves the Bengals offense. Joe Burrow, high octane. He's not the number one quarterback in the league, but I enjoy watching him the most on all the quarterbacks. Just watching his grace and his ability and his style. The way he throws that thing, with his boy, with his man, with his pots and pans. Jamar Chase, the incredible combination in T Higgins. And that high octane vaunted Bengals offense that has done nothing. That's gone nowhere, whether it's Burrow's health or it's the defense or it's this or that. And maybe it's that time as well. Like John Harbaugh, like Mike Tomlin. Man, maybe it's time to move on from Joe Burrow if you're the Bengals. Because he would command a king's ransom. And how long will he command a king's ransom? And how long are you going to try to trot him out there in this Bengals program and think it's going to work? And I'm not saying it's his fault. But sometimes change just works, man. It's time to change things, Like Matty B said on the Mental Monday, you just got to switch it up, baby. It's the same thing, man. I mean, sometimes you just got to move on. It makes things better, No matter how much you love it there, I ain't gonna lie to you. In New York City, babe, I'm not saying like Florida's better. I'm not saying that. But I had reached my point there where it was what it was, and I wasn't going to be able to take myself to a next level without a background change. So the scenery change, and it's like that a lot. You can, sports is a way of life. You can use this to correlate sports to correlate almost anything, And that's what we're about on Epis Radio. Everything possible in sports. So I don't know, man. And everything being possible in sports, maybe Joe Burrow, it's time for him to move on. And there would be a lot of shooters who be willing to trade with him. You guys give that some thought. What do you guys think? You know? Okay. What else we got here? Do I have any more NFL stuff? Yes, I do. I got one more. I got one more. The biggie. This is going to bridge us into our next subject. Let me see. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any games, because once I leave the NFL, I'll be done with it. Yeah, that Lions Cowboys game, that 44-30. The Cowboys can't stop anybody. Okay, so now, guys, of course, we have the Raiders and the Denver Broncos yesterday. In Las Vegas, Broncos up 24-14. Raiders have the ball. I don't think there's no timeouts remaining. There's under 18 seconds left. There's almost zero chance to win a football game. Even mathematically, they would have to score immediately and kick an onside kick before this last play that we're gonna bring up and show you. On this delay of game call, man, listen, delay of game. Like I've never seen a delay of game called in the NFL like that. I'm not saying it hasn't, because I haven't seen every NFL game, even recently. I can only watch so much and so much at once, right? I know as much as I can, and it's so much hard to consume these games. 10 of them, 70% of them come on at the same time on a Sunday at 1 o'clock. So 18 seconds left. Kenny Pickett driving for the Raiders, down 10. No timeouts. Scrambling. Kenny scrambling. He throws a play. He makes a pass. I forgot the Raider receiver caught the football, but he catches the football. He makes a football move. He falls down, and the Broncos are on top of him, like hovering above him, like trying to make the clock run out. But they didn't really touch him, and they want him to try to slap the ball out of his hand. And then the referee blows the whistle. He says delay of the game. Like they're stopping him from getting up, and so they're stopping him. They're making the clock run by holding him down. But they weren't really. You guys see the play. And it's just like, why they call that now? I don't know. If it let it in the law, I guess you have to call it. But they call it. As soon as they call it, the clock was running out. Because it was Shorty got tackled midfield, in the middle of the field. No sideline, no nothing. And he's about at the 40-something. They tackle him. The clock stops at 4 seconds. Okay, fine. Remember, 10 point, 24-14. Hey, obviously, guys, I haven't mentioned yet, 7.5 point spread. Broncos minus 7.5. Right now, they're covering and they're up 10. What do the Raiders do? They don't want to quit. They don't want to take a knee. They're losing. You don't take knees when you're losing. No one does that. You keep running the ball or whatever, but you're not going to win the game. But you would figure if they want to keep it up and show that they don't want to quit, they would go for the end zone, right? Throw a pass to the end zone or something. That's not what they did. They set up for a field goal and they make it as time expires, and they lose the game 24-17, and they end up covering super backdoor cover. I don't even call that. I don't know what that. You can't call that something else. And bettors going crazy. Bettors are going nuts all around the country. Twitter. I talked to Matty B earlier. He's like, yo, the guy at work, Matty was getting blood out of a patient, and the guy was bitching about the Raiders. Flambati me that. He's drawing blood, and the guy talking about the Raiders and the Broncos, how he got screwed and it's rigged. And then listen, gambling, as addictive as it is and as serious as it is, you don't play with gamblers. You don't play with people with what they like to do with their thing. Like my dad and his lotto tickets. You don't play with that shit. You don't. You feel me? You guys feel me? You feel me? And that's what happened, bro. It's hard not to say it, and it's like every week, guys. It's like this every week now. Rudy Gobert ejected. Wolf center shoves the Suns' Mark Williams to the ground. This just happened 1 minute ago. Rudy Gobert gang gangster. You see that? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. It just looks bad. Now Rozier just pleaded not guilty in the in his federal case. And like we're talking about all the time, there's always some new thing with this gambling thing. There's always something No, it never ends. Every time we do a show, it's a new gambling thing. And this shit is like the parlay epidemic is just really starting to set upon us. But I don't know if that was the case, if the referee was on the take, but every time something happens in sports now, that's what they're gonna do. Especially with these new indictments and everything this past few months. They have pages on Instagram and TikTok where they'll look at a player and dissect him to see if he's rigging or whatever you want to call it. And that is crazy to me, man. And I don't know, man. We got a lot of ways to go with this gambling thing. And like the NCAA playoff, it's going to take a lot of work to be able to have this thing because you can't put it back in the boxes. We're going to have it. But managing it is going to be a work in progress. Really. It really is. So, yeah, man, that's our NFL docket. I got some other stuff for us that I wanted to touch on. One of them being Mr. Kyle Schwarber, Philadelphia Phillies, super power hitter, super slugger extraordinaire, Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber is said to be in negotiations with a few teams right now. Kyle Schwarber, power hitting, DH designated hitter, exclusive designated hitter. He is positionless. I guess he played first base, had one once upon a time, but he doesn't do that anymore. He just hits home runs, all the way to grandma's. That's what he do now. But he's said to be the first big domino to fall in free agency. They're saying we thought it was going to be Kyle Tucker, but we're hearing it's Schwarber. I don't think the Phillies are going to be the one either. The Phillies are taking a hit. The GM doesn't have any more confidence in Bryce Harper. He said he doesn't look like much. But what are you going to do, right? You married him for 12 years, whatever that contract is. So you're going to have to deal with that, the Phillies going to lose him, Schwarber. The Mets are interested in Schwarber. There's a lot of teams interested in him. We're going to see, but we're going to expect, they're in winter meetings right now down here in Orlando. We're going to be expecting for this first card to fall, the first domino in the what's been a very, very quiet 2025 baseball winter meetings. So Kyle Schwarber, look for him. Okay, next topic. It's a topic we've heard all week, guys, especially in the New York area. I'm considered a New York guy. I am a New York guy, even though I'm not in New York. I listen to New York stuff, so I know what's going on. Jet fan, Knick fan, into the Giants and the Mets, etc. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the legendary, the great, the tremendous world champion, Greek freak, number 34 from the Milwaukee Bucks, all-time player, 2021 NBA champion, MVP. Right? He said he wants out. We've heard Giannis rumblings. He's kind of hinted. He's given Easter eggs about the Knicks before. And him saying he wanted to come here, or the rumblings of him saying he wanted to come here, even though Doc Rivers has denied it and said that Giannis has never asked for any deal. Giannis hasn't asked for a trade ever. All right, Doc. Believe you. Sure. Giannis has spoken his interest in the New York Knicks. He's one of the few players I can remember in 30 years who's actually said, hey, besides Melo, I thought was a little bit, I don't think it was as wholesome. I think it was about bread. Giannis has all that stuff now, including the championship. I think he wants New York. And I think that's incredible. Giannis is one of the best players in the NBA right now. The fact that he has a good relationship with the Bucks and the city makes me think that maybe they will help him go where he would like to go. Because honestly, fans, guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, kiddies, boys, girls, like I said, Giannis, or rather the Knicks do not have there's a lot of teams with more resources than the Knicks to acquire this player. Okay? The only thing the leverage the Knicks have is the fact that he wants to go there and everyone knows it. And the fact that the Bucks are probably willing to accommodate Giannis. They're not going to say, fuck you, Giannis, we're going to send you to Sacramento. They won't do that to him. So but I don't think they're also going to say, we're only going to send you where you want to New York. I think they're going to say, work with us, Giannis. We can send you to New York. Let's see what the Knicks got to offer. So that's where the Knicks come in. And I've been seeing a lot of these potential trades by pundits, experts, media, fans, podcasters, all kind of sources, all who matter. All of you guys' opinions matter, especially when you put that much passion into your fandom. or your expertise in following the game. With that said, a lot of times these executives and these teams don't give a shit about the fans and the media and any of our opinions, right? But in this case with the Knicks, I don't think that's the case. And I say that to say this. A lot of the trades I've seen for Giannis have been underwhelming if you're a Milwaukee person. The Knicks ones, they've been underwhelming. I mean, really. Karl Anthony Towns, Miles McBride in a draft pick, and people are like, yeah, that'll get it done. I'd rather not give up McBride, but I guess I'll give it him in the first round pick and maybe another pick if they want one for Giannis and Cat. Give me a break. Are you guys serious? I heard somebody say Cat, Kolick, and a pick. Get the fuck. Come on. Bro, the guys, the Thunder have 1 million picks. They could give Jalen Williams and give him 1 million picks. You know how quick they'll do that deal? Kolick? They can trade him Jalen Williams right now. They can get the other Jalen Williams, the lesser Jalen Williams. The Thunder got buku shit. We don't really got much. You know what we got? I know y'all gonna think I'm bugging. We could trade him Jalen Brunson. Would you trade Jalen Brunson for Giannis? Ask yourself that. If that was the only thing that can get the deal done, would I do it? Yes, I would do it. I would do it. How about you guys? Would you guys do it? I hope Maddie cuts this one up. Would you trade Jalen Brunson for Giannis Antetokounmpo? I mean, he's obviously the better player. It would change the whole trajectory of the team, but I just don't think the Knicks are going to win a championship with Jalen Brunson as the number one and Cat as his number two, and Jalen having to bail them out every night, and you not being able to trust Karl Anthony Towns, and then Jalen in his diminutive 6'1" frame carrying the Knicks to an NBA title. It's not going to be easy, and as much heart Jade, the captain, does have, I just don't see it. And a guy like Giannis was proven that he's different, bro. I don't know. But I just don't think it's all right. No Brunson. Forget that. Let's get that out of my head because you guys might tune me out already. This guy gets idiot Brunson. It's like I said, the Knicks aren't going to play with Brunson because they love him like the fans do. I don't think they would do that. But a good executive would do that deal. They're 1 year apart in age. They're the same age. Right? Giannis can still run up and down like a deer. Dunk, run. Good Towns could go act like a little bee and walk, be a 3-point line. You find you another guard, boom, 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 get a carrot crack. But I don't think that's going to be the case. But another possibility would be now you're going to go talk about big deals where you're going to talk about an Anunoby and a Towns and a McBride and 2 first-round picks. Now, that's something you can do without giving away Brunson. They would do, but you guys won't do that, would you? No, I'm not giving OG. You got to give me Bridges and OG. Yeah. You don't need OG if you got Giannis. You just need Bridges. Or you won't need Bridges if you got Giannis. You'll just need OG. So I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a player who wants to come here. Like I said, I don't mean no disrespect. And I know people, if you'll see this, you're like, oh, W, you're not a Knicks fan. I've been accused of not being a real Knicks fan, but I'm just objective. And I just see through things from, an accountable lens. And I just think that is something that should be considered, man, going forward. But I don't know. Giannis is on the block, and I don't imagine he will be there much longer. We'll see. Right now, though, he has that strained calf, and you know what that strained calf means. Achilles, please. So Giannis, no matter what happens, he has to chill and rest. And before he goes anywhere, he has to get healed. And if he gets traded, before he plays, he has to heal up. That strained calf has to heal. These guys all played on strained calves with Durant, Halliburton, Tatum. They all did it in playoff games, right? Durant in the finals, Halliburton in the finals, and Tatum in the semifinals. So it won't be the playoffs. Giannis, just get it together. Get your calf. We do not want you to pop your Achilles because you will never play the same way again. So, what else we got here, guys? I don't know if we got anything else. If I filled everything up tonight. I told you guys Stefanski hates Shador. Matty B, you around me? You know what I mean? Stefanski hates Shador, guys. Let me see what's up in the chat room if anybody got anything for me. Mm, 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 Nobody in the chat. You guys at? Huh? All right. Let me see the YouTube. So yeah, guys, check out our YouTube page. You know the deal. Epis Radio. Streaming live on there right now for the Twitch viewers. Epis Radio is our YouTube page. You can check us out on Instagram, TikTok, all of those sites. Matty B, you can check him on his Instagram. You can check the Epis at Epis Radio Instagram page, just like that, at Epis Radio. And then Matty B has his page. You know, those things are interjoined. And mine is W underbar Dubois. You know, Maddie's gonna put them in the box on the edit. So I've noticed Epis Radio, we're over what 30,000. We're at 40 now, huh? Almost at 40,000 subscribers, is it, Maddie? It's crazy, man. I seen it the other day. You know, I got the analytics. I'm looking at it. I'm like, yo, this is insane, man. 40,000 subscribers, Epis Radio. Me and Maddie used to really watch it and look at the subscribers and talk about the numbers. But one thing I noticed about us, we don't talk about that no more. We just go. And I think that's been a good thing for us. Look, I didn't even know we had 40,000. Last time I looked, I knew it was around, I was like, it's not 30. I knew it was around number. We just cracked one. It's 40. Unbelievable. We're at a year. We're going to be at the anniversary of the relaunch. We're going to be the 1 year anniversary or a relaunch, I believe January. So, you know, me and Maddie going to do something special, man. It's been it's been a fascinating year. It's been so many phases. I've gone through a lot of stuff. Me, Maddie've had our ups and downs during the year, believe it or not. You know, that's what family, that's what brothers do. But I'm just very grateful to be here, to be doing this one-on-one with you guys tonight, a little solo show, letting you guys know that going forward. I was telling Maddie on the mental health show, like where I'm at right now, my mind, I can tackle everything and I want to tackle everything. I want to go after everything that I want. And one of them is to make this program, make this platform as great as it can be, you know, with my brother Matty B. So just looking at that, December is always, and Maddie was talking about not stressing yourself out on the mental show at the end of the year. And I was listening to him say that. I didn't want to interrupt him like I usually do. So I shut the hell up and I listened. But so I'm going to say what I was going to say then now. This is the time of the year where there's a lot of tragedies, you know? Personally, I've lost people this time of year, the holidays. I lost my aunt in November of 2019. You know, my great aunt Jacqueline, she was a big glue person in our family. We lost her in November 2019, and we lost my cousin Jan and my uncle last November around the same time. So a lot of funerals. There's been so many tragic things in the news happening this time of year. I can remember so many Thanksgiving, like in Christmases, like people rushing around and just be careful, slow down. You know, everyone's moving fast, trying to get home for Christmas, whatever. You know, you can turn this thing into like you lose the wrong person this time of year. This time of year will become sad forever. And some people already have, you know, and they'll tell you. And it's, you know, just don't let it be you in the sense as far as you can do about it. We just got to slow down and be careful. There's these crazy people that are driving all over the place. Everyone's trying to get home for, everyone's trying to do this, everyone's trying to do that. People are going to be partying, people are going to be drinking. Just be careful in December. Be careful all the time. But I've always felt like that. Like, you know, I've always noticed that since I was in adolescence. Like, it's always sad things that happen. Like Billy Martin, I remember Christmas Day, Billy Martin wrecked his car and died. And I remember I was a kid, like, damn, it's Christmas. You know, I mean, Billy Martin, you know, but he's a famous guy, Yankee manager. But there's personal stuff. Like I said, we've all lost people this time of year. It's easy to get lost in regular, you know, safety and regular carefulness and becoming careless, and that turned to carelessness. So just be careful. Everybody, man, going into this time of the year, try not to put too much pressure on yourself. I'm hearing a lot of stories and sadness from friends. Some of them not gonna even tell me this why that they're sad. They just want to talk to me, but you could hear the depression in voices. I'm like, damn, man, you know, because like I said, I feel fantastic, but I can try to rub that off on people, but it's only so much you can do between their sadness starts rubbing off on you. So it's like, you know, it's like a double-edged sword. So, but you know, just keep your people in your thoughts, check on your people, you know, be there for your people. A lot of times we're not going to tell each other shit. So we have to watch, forget words. We have to watch hands. We have to watch eyes. We have to listen to voices. Okay? All right. Shit. What else we got here? Well, I'm gonna close it out a little. No, I'm gonna close it out. I was done. I was calling for you. You know,
I'm sorry.
you're listening when I don't need you.
I'm sorry.
You
I'm
know?
sorry.
No, I'm sorry, Debbie. I'm sorry, E. I'm sorry, Debbie. Go
Well,
ahead, rub back of my neck
don't
like I'm Maggie.
don't guilt trip me like that. All right, I'm dealing with 3 crying children over here. So
At the same damn time,
yeah,
they're crying at the same time.
I haven't been. For the past like 20 minutes, I haven't been listening to you because I've been
Anyway.
giving the kids bath. All right, so don't give me
I gotta break your balls. I missed you. I gotta break your balls. I missed
You've been
you.
doing a hell of a job over here carrying the show.
I appreciate you, man. I feel good.
You should feel good.
I told you, bro. I'm not fucking around, Maddie B. I'm trying to look at the list, see what else we got on here before we close it out. What you got, Maddie?
I ain't got much. I gotta check back on Instagram. Baseball Hall of Fame. I mean, I could talk. Of course,
Jeff Kent, guys. I was gonna bring that up. Jeff Kent was elected to the Hall of Fame, and I found that interesting as heck, Maddie, because Jeff Kent is a potential Roy guy, and he's also a potential. He's definitely a media hated guy.
Yeah,
he was Barry's evil twin, and they hated each other, but they were the evil twins to the San Francisco media. He deserves to be in the Hall. He's one of the greatest offensive second basemen of all time.
Yeah,
I thought he should have been in the Hall. Former Met, great San Francisco Giant. And once again, it brings me back to let these guys in, man. We're tired, yo. Just let these guys in. It's like after a while, you punished them enough. We get it. You made your point. They're humble. But you owe it to us, to my generation, to Maddie's generation, our generation, almost the same shit. These are our players. Let our Stan Musials in. Let our Harmon Killer Blues in.
Yeah.
Let our fucking, let our guys, let our Reggie Jacksons in. Let our all of those guys, man. Rob.
Somebody in the comments was like, Delgado is way better. Than Jeff Kent. Yeah.
Well, offensively, yes, but Kent was a second baseman. Offensively, Kent's one of the greatest second basemen ever.
Kent hit 377 home runs, bro, as a second baseman. That's phenomenal.
Delgado was a better offensive player. Delgado.
Yeah, I love Delgado. Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
And he got some votes. No, just somebody in the comments. I have it up on the. I have it up on the screen right now. But yeah, Delgado was the shit. Yeah. Here, actually, this is the full graphic for everybody right there. Sees all the teams that Jeff Kent played for. See, he played for the Mets for 4 years there. Yeah. 2000 NL MVP, 5-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger, 55.4 WAR, 2,400 hits, and 377 home runs. David Wright was on this ballot, did not get in, but was close. Donnie, right? Yeah, I know. A lot of discussion about him, right?
Both of them.
Yeah.
They're the same, bro.
Yeah.
They're the exact same thing. Keith Hernandez and Donnie Baseball. They should be in together, bro. Like New York baseball, bro. Back then, those first basemen, forget about it. You put it there. You didn't even catch that shit. But yeah, they greatest first baseman ever, and they both played in the city. I mean, not ever, but defensive first baseman of their eras again. And they both played in the city at the same time, and it was always a thing. It was always like, yo, Keith or Don. When we played baseball, everyone played first base. They got the the left-handed glove. Man, there was guys who were righties, and they would try to be play left, and try to get the left-handed glove and play the game. It's crazy.
Doubt. Yeah, I know. It's interesting to see. Not a very exciting Hall of Fame class this year with Jeff Kent, but
Jeff Kent's an ass. No one cares. He's an ass.
Yeah.
He's a hunter, Everglades motherfucker. He's from Louisiana, Bayou, hunt shit, fuck shit up, fucking prick.
Yeah, but he's great. You see the comments on the screen, right? There was somebody commented, Kent was hard to like. Yeah, it's
See, what's that on YouTube?
This is on Instagram. Yeah, it's the MLB Network had posted this. But yeah,
he was hard. Yeah. He was tough, bro. He was a pain in the ass, and he drove Bonds crazy. All they do was go after each other, poke each other, and then Kemp won MVP over Bonds, and Bonds had better numbers. So now they argue against. They were nuts. They went to the World Series 02 together. It was just, you know what I mean? Lost to the Angels in 7.
Dub, I'm gonna hand it back over to you real quick, and I'm just gonna be right back. We'll close out the show for you and everything.
All right. Let me go find something for these good folk. Yeah, guys. So with Jeff Kent, as far I'm just saying this. The Baseball Hall of Fame, man. I've gone through so many phases in my feelings with it. Being a big sports fan that I am, being a big sports fan that I am, the Baseball Hall of Fame's always been sacred. If you're a baseball fan, excuse me, guys, old man indigestion. So if you're a baseball fan, the level of player that you must be to make it to the Baseball Hall of Fame, especially at one point until they started letting everybody in. And they didn't start letting everybody in until they didn't have anyone to let in because everyone used steroids. So now they had to go find people to let in, and then they let in the compilers like Harold Baines and Craig Biggio. And I think even, I hate to say it, Tim Raines. I like Tim, but is Tim in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, he is. Yeah. 86, 2017. World Series champion, 1996, 1998, and 2005. Yo, Tim Raines was in the league a while. And he came in the league in 1979. Oh, my bad. He won as a coach in 05. He retired in 02, 79 to 02. Wow, long career. But yeah, man, great player, man. Tim Raines. Maybe Tim Raines could be in. But yeah, man, so, I don't know. These guys, man, they really ruined it for us. Like, because they wanted to police all these steroid users and punish them, but they let in the commissioner who okayed the steroids, the late Bud Selig. He's in. And and as he should be, because he had huge contributions to baseball, and so did the steroid users. We don't regret watching them. We don't regret enjoying Clemens and Bonds and Palmeiro and Sosa and Manny. And it's not like you ain't letting them in anyway. You let Pudge in. You let Big Papi in. Come on. Let it be. Because when this started, my generation, we were the kids and you were now my generation's 45, 50, and you haven't let our heroes in. You guys ain't let all of our heroes in. My favorite player is Barry Lamar Bonds. Okay? He should be in the Hall of Fame. All right. They let Pete die and he didn't get in. And like I said, Pete's thing, I get it. The gambling thing, I get it. But now here we are, and gambling is part of Americana, legally, I might add. So there's the hypocrisy in that. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I feel like the charade's gone long enough. The punishment tour, the having those guys on timeout for 20 years, it's enough. They went through all these committees. Now they're conjuring up all these new committees and creating committees just to tell these guys no again. It's getting ridiculous. So Baseball Hall of Fame is not the same place that it was. I visited Cooperstown with my good friend not a couple of years ago, and at that time it still had the mystique. I don't know anymore. But like I said, you're gonna let them in, let them all in now. It doesn't matter. Jeff Kent is in, let Don Mattingly in, David Wright, Keith Hernandez, let them in. Shit, let Jose Reyes in. Get them all in. Do it matter? Bernie Williams. Because all these players I named are good, great players even, but they were not Hall of Famers. The NBA lets guys in like that. Chris Webber's not in the Hall, but there's guys who get in the Hall of Fame who are not that good. The NBA doesn't have the Hall of Fame actually, so it's the Basketball Hall of Fame in conjunction with the NBA. Yeah, man. So And that's that. We got a couple other things going on in sports. We have that big game tonight. The Eagles are traveling to LA to face the Chargers. That's going on right now. It's 10-6 Chargers at the half. Very interesting. Listen, guys, big game by the Eagles. Big game for both teams. And somebody was like, yeah, if the Eagles, if the Cowboys, my cousin was at the Cowboys, if the Eagles lose, they're done. They're not. If the Eagles lose, the Cowboys are still alive, guys. I don't care what any of y'all say. And they're down 10-6 right now. Jalen Hurts turns the ball over twice in one play as chaos reigns in the Eagles Chargers. See, I don't have the game on in the background, and I wasn't paying attention to TV, but I'm going to read this. This is one of the wildest turnovers of this or any season, and a bad look for Jalen Hurts in the box score. With Philadelphia threatening to score its first touchdown Monday night in the second quarter against the Chargers, the Eagles face 3rd and 2 at the Los Angeles 2. Jalen Hurts forced a pass to A.J. Brown on a slant as Brown was surrounded by 3 Chargers defenders. Deshaun Hand was positioned perfectly for the interception and picked the ball off just beyond the line of gain. Hand being a defensive, my light just went off, so that might be my cue almost. Hand being a defensive lineman is not too familiar with handling the ball, and it showed as he returned the ball. Running back Will Shipley punched it out from behind, sending it hurtling back in Hurts' direction. Hurts was able to corral the ball, but just for a moment. Almost as soon as Hurts gained control, 340-pound defensive tackle Jamari Caldwell was on top of it, and Caldwell successfully dislodged the ball again. Chargers linebacker Troy Dye got to it first from 3 and made the wise decision considering all that he had just witnessed to jump on the ball and stay on it. The end result of the play, so the Chargers take over possession. So Jalen Hurts turned the ball over twice in one possession. He threw a pick, and then the guy who caught the pick fumbled it. Jalen Hurts picks it up, and then he fumbles that. Matty B.
Yep.
Have you ever seen something like that? Can you get that up for us before we get out of here? Jalen Hurts turning the ball over twice tonight in one play. Get that up for us, man. I'll send it to you. I got it right here. I got it right here. I'll send it to you.
As long as it's short, I don't want the YouTube stream to get knocked down off or us get hit with like copyright. But yeah.
No, I'm gonna send you the Twitter joint.
All right, yeah, send that to me.
I'm gonna send you the tweet. That's how we do it. The tweets will save us. You want me to send it to your Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram's good.
Or I can send it to your... All right. Here it comes right now. Let's show these people this, and we're going to get out of here, get a laugh or something before you close out. Matty B, direct message. There he is. There he goes. Notre Dame AD accuses ACC of permanent damage. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. There goes Matty. I sent it to you, bro.
I got it ready. Hold on. Pulling it up for you people now. Nice show, bro.
Thanks, Matty, man. You know that means a lot to me. You're gonna give me more confidence. Yeah, that's what I want. You're gonna be fucking arrogant. This guy's out of control. Fucking Dubs, man. Ever since he did that show, his front head is huge. That's what we want, though.
No, for real though. Yeah, I did listen to majority of it, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. What did you do? Like almost 2 hours, I think.
No, I didn't.
Like an hour and a half at least, bro.
Damn, I didn't know it. I didn't know. I thought I was on for an hour.
For real.
I thought I was on for an hour, brother.
Hold on, let me fix one thing real quick. Shut this off. Bring this back. And boom, shakalaka. This is what Dub's talking about. I hope YouTube does not take this down, but 7-3, 8:29 in the second, 3rd and 2. And it all falls apart, apparently, for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles.
Check it out.
Oh! Oh my God. The interception, fumble to the recovery, and the fumble again. That has got to be one of the wildest plays this season.
That?
There it is again. Just what in the hell?
Oh.
Wow.
Big man. Hurts got it back, bro.
What's the current score on this? Wow, that is just sick.
10-6.
10-6 who?
Charger.
Okay. At the half.
Yes, sir.
2 8-4 teams, but that's some sloppy play right there from both of them. Yeah. That's gonna be one of the wildest plays. I'll play it for you one more time. Because out of fear of copyright, I might have to edit this out anyway.
Yes. There's been 6 total turnovers in the first half out in LA. And so at that stadium, and so far, that's so far.
Crazy. And what? 3 on that one play.
Right. The pick, the fumble, then the fumble. Right. 2 fumbles,
that's insane.
Oh, that's 3 turnovers.
That is. That's legitimately 3 in one play. And this like basically in the red zone right here. You're starting at the 21. This is terrible, man, for this to go down. 3rd and 2.
They don't look like pros, do they?
So where do they even end up on this play? Because I think so it's 4th and long, right? They go for the field goal. They go for the field goal.
Change the possession. It'll be first down again. Whoever had the Chargers end up with first down.
Oh, really?
Remember, first of all, the Eagles threw the ball. They had the ball first. It was the Eagles who
Yes.
So the Chargers ended up with
3rd and 2.
So it's first down, right. But if the Eagles would have had a first down, if Hurts would have just
it resets because of the interception, because it's a new possession. Now you're right. Okay.
Yes, Hurts would have got Hurts keeps the recovery. It would have been a new set of downs. Yes.
But if the interception doesn't occur and say Hurts fumbles it, but they recover, and it's 4th down. It's still right, exactly. That's what I mean. That's why I'm confusing. But if you recover your own fumble, then it's not resetting.
Right. Yeah. You didn't lose possession. Yeah. But the other way, they lost possession after that fumble. After big man fumbles the ball, the defensive lineman or whatever, the linebacker, they had new first down. They had a new set, and like you said. And where were they? They were inside, almost at the red zone.
That's what I just said. Yeah, at the 21. Right. I have it up on the screen. Here it is. I'll play it one more time.
Hurts picked off, intercepted, and now the ball's out. And Hurts ends up with the ball in his hands. He fumbles.
Hurts had no time. I mean, he really should have just gotten it and went down. It looked like he tried to continue the play. What are you doing, dude? You can't do that. You just should have just gone down after you got it in the air. But that's tough stuff, man. Bit of ugly football over in L.A. And you say 10-6 at the half, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. There you go. I don't even know, even with knowing the score right now, maybe I would have went the Chargers' way. Going prior to the game, I don't know. I don't have I didn't pick them. Interesting odds though at halftime.
I took that game. Didn't I pick that game? I think I took that.
Oh, is that one of your weekly picks?
Yeah, I was scared. I was scared to take the Texans because I had took them on the futures and I didn't want to double bad luck myself. So it was real superstitious shit. But I really believed in them. But I took them futures, so I was like, I don't want to take them in the Maddie picks.
Yeah.
Because if they lose, I'll be double fucked. So I got scared. This thing goes with this game. That's this business, yo. You got to have cojones or you're not going to get your full shit.
For sure. Interesting bet, though, at the half, though, with 10-6 Chargers here. There's probably some money, on the Eagles side of it. Maybe even the Chargers, who's necessarily favored here. I guess the Chargers because of the home. Yeah. But even money, I don't know.
Yeah, I got the Chargers plus 2.5. So how did we do this week? And then I want to ask you a question before we leave.
Yeah.
The question I asked the viewers. I don't know if you heard me ask it. But before we leave, I do ask you that. How do we do with the picks? Because I got the Steelers.
Will pull it up for you.
I got Steelers, Ravens. I lost the Commanders. I went 3-1. No, I'm 2-1 right now, bending this game. If the Chargers win up. How did we do last week?
Didn't I tally it up last week, or wasn't we last week week 13? Yeah, this is week 14, right? Currently.
Okay, you're
Yeah,
right.
last
15,
week
16, 17.
you did well. You
Right,
did
you're right.
you got 3-1, and I damn, I lost 3. Yeah, I won 1 and lost
So
3
that means
last
I
week.
got the lead right now.
No, I had to lead by 1.
One point, right?
You
27
needed a
and
perfect
26.
a perfect week. I'm 26 and 26. You're 25 and 27. So
Got it.
this week, what'd you say? Well, you had Steelers plus 5.5. I gotta write it down. Hold
You had
on.
that too.
I did have the Steelers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that cover? I didn't know.
No, you didn't have the Steelers.
I didn't
I
have the
thought you
Steelers.
did. No. What you had was that Bronco Coastal. I ain't had that. We both took the Bengals, I think. No, I didn't take the Bengals. You took them. My bad. I agreed with that though.
You had Steelers
No,
plus 5.5. Did that hit?
yes, they won.
They won.
Mm-hmm.
Say, yeah, 27-22 against the Ravens. Alrighty.
And then I got the Bronco game, the controversial game. I came up on that. That was the one we went
Commanders -1.
I brought it up on the stream. I told the people, I was like, listen, that should even affected me in Maddie's game, that Raider
Yeah.
Bronco game. And I told him about the people, man. And I don't know if that's exactly what you say. You say, yo, he's a champ. I'm doing this patient. He's talking about the Raiders in the bet. That's like, say, man, he's taking blood. This guy's complaining.
It's mad funny. I heard that part. I heard that part when you talking.
You know, they're laughing your ass off, right? But nah, man, that shit crazy though, bro.
Freaking Commanders lost 31-0 this week.
Oh
bro.
my
Oh my
bro.
god.
You talk about hanging it up. You
Yeah.
talk about punting the season. They really punted this season, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, so much
Especially after all
expectation
the
going
Iowa
in.
try.
Yeah. So much
Mhm.
expectation going in, and this team just
For me,
flopped hard. Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna be having a high pick in the draft. I brought the tankathon up, but here's the question I was gonna ask you while you're looking at that. We could do both at the same time.
Where's you had Chargers plus 2.5?
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
yeah. What's tonight's game? And the Raiders.
Maddie, you went 3-1.
Did I really?
2-2. No, 2-2. No, you won that Cincinnati Buffalo joint.
Hold on,
They lost by 5.
ahead of me.
You won. Mm-hmm.
Plus 7.5. You had the Raiders, so that is
Mhm.
good.
That's your only loss.
What? Let me.
You went 4-0 without that bullshit.
Oh, that other bullshit. Yeah, I felt like
The
this was a
Raiders,
good week for me. Yeah.
Yeah, you covered the Bengals by a point. You hit Texans. You hit Jags. Period. So I have to win tonight just to stay even with you. Just to go 3-1 again.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not
Pretty
bad at
good.
all.
Back on the hot streak. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to bet any of this because I was in freaking Delaware. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember saying I was gonna do the Bengals. I was gonna put a heavy bet on the Bengals, but
Right.
you know, and that would have been a tight one. I
Well,
mean, they lost by
They
5.
should have won the game. They should have won the game, bro. They were up. They
Yeah.
choked that game away.
Did you
They
watch
gave
that game?
up.
Yeah.
I bet on the money line. I went and bet on them right before the game. I put like $10 on them with $20 because the number was like 240. Let me get this shit real quick. They gonna bust their ass.
Yeah.
And they was busting Buffalo ass. And Burrow, they turned the ball over in the fourth quarter. They choked the game up, bro. Then they had the ball after they gave the lead up down 5, and they threw a pick to end the game too. Burrow just folded up. He had a bad ball that got intercepted, and he threw a stupid pick. Other than that, he was awesome. But he made those mistakes, and then defense do what they do. Absolutely nothing. The Cincinnati defense, and that's it. So here's the question I have for you.
Yeah.
I asked the people on this same stream on number 49, I asked them, and I'm going to ask you here as we close the show out. Would you, in the right circumstance, trade Jalen in the Giannis package? Jalen Brunson?
No.
I would.
You would?
Yeah.
No.
One on one,
shot.
1 for 1, you wouldn't do it? 1 for 1, you wouldn't?
No, I can't. Can't do it. It's not even
You think
worth it.
we're gonna
I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily worth it. I don't
they're
think
the
they're
same
going.
age?
Doesn't matter. I need
Giannis a better
Brunson. I
player.
need Brunson and Giannis on the same team.
I
Yeah,
agree with you. I'd rather
Giannis
have that. That's true.
Giannis is the better player. I would say that, no doubt. Brunson is not
So I
far
can straight.
behind that though. I know they're two different type of athletes. They are, and they play two different types of positions. But
I don't know if
you
we can
know,
win a championship the way with Brunson. I'm not taking any. I said this on the stream too. I'm just saying it to you now. I won't take nothing away from him. He's one of the best Knicks shit ever, even at this point. But the way his style of play, it takes away a lot from other guys, and it doesn't look like they be ready when it's time for them to be ready. His hero ball, and it's sometimes necessary to be hero ball because Cat is not a number. It's not the real two.
well, that's the
So
problem. You just said it. It's Cat.
all right. I agree with you,
It's
but
Cat.
why would the Bucks? But the Bucks might not. And I was talking about the trade possibilities. They don't want to. I don't know if they're going to want those guys. What we have to offer, and I don't know if we're
No.
ready to offer up Anunoby and those guys either. And a big deal.
Everybody's
So,
on the table, but Brunson.
Okay. So you'll trade Anunoby and Bridges.
Yeah.
Okay. Me too.
Yeah.
Giannis Antetokounmpo is.
You have to make that move. I really do think you have to make that move. Because who's gonna argue against it? Like, to be honest with you, it's like,
all right. So
you gotta make it happen. Yeah.
From the Bucks' perspective, as a Buck fan,
It's
what
not
would you
ideal,
want?
but he's out,
What
bro.
would you
He
want
don't
if
want to
you-
be there.
All right. What do
Who
you
else
want
you
if you're a
get?
Buck
You go to
fan?
OKC. You go to
They can get
OKC. Who you gonna get over there?
They can get whatever they want. Yeah, it's Giannis. If they want Jalen
All right.
Williams, they can get him for Jalen.
As
They'll
Jalen
do
Williams
it.
more sexier than Karl Anthony Towns, OG,
Yes.
and three other first round picks,
No,
or
but
two
Jalen
first
Williams
round
would
picks,
be in
and
a package. Jalen Williams would be the package deal. He wouldn't just be by himself. They would use all these picks. All right, forget the Thunder. Say they don't want him. They don't need him. We good. We want a championship. What we got? We don't need him. But there's other teams that have
LA,
more. I don't know. They don't have more assets than us.
right? That's what I'm saying. Knicks are up there. You got to make a bid for it, man. They got to go for it. From what I'm hearing, it's like they're not even really in on
They're
it.
not interested. Right.
And it's like, how could you not be?
Dola's a fool, bro. He always is doing the opposite of what you need him to do.
And I
when he needs to be in on it, he's never in on it. When he's not on it, when he needs not to be on it, he's on it.
And I like Karl Anthony Towns, but it's just, when it comes to playoff time, he's not the player for it. It's just, it is what it is. He's a great regular season player. He's going to put up numbers. They're going to do well. This team's going to succeed.
I hate to say this, but Gio's right about Karl Anthony Towns. I don't like that he's not a bum or anything like those names he called him, but his explanation, you know what, you're just not gonna win with Karl Anthony Towns, Boomer. And I agree.
No, I really do think that is the case. I agree. I don't see it. I like him. I just don't see a championship, and certainly not going up against this Oklahoma City team right now. That's the biggest problem. I think.
And then you forget about that. The East, they got guys, bro.
I know. Well, the East is a problem in itself. But let's say they get there. All right.
You can't beat them.
They're not beating Oklahoma in the 7th.
Nobody is. You need Giannis.
You need Giannis. It's like literally your only chance. And that's what that's the argument I've been making. Yeah.
So if you don't beat them this year, you're not going to never beat them. You're never going to. This team is in the league, and our whole thing is championship. We're not trying to make playoffs like the Jets and start building something like the Giants. We're trying to win an NBA title.
And could you imagine if OKC actually does find a way to package Giannis there?
If they want him, they could have him. And if and it wouldn't be crazy
necessarily. I don't know if you want to go there.
No, but listen, I talked about it. Giannis doesn't have a no trade clause, but the Bucks have respect for him. He respects them. They probably would accommodate him. I think Giannis would go there. I think it's about championships, and I think Giannis appreciates greatness. And if they want him a part of it, I think he would be down with it.
I agree with you. I think
And
he would fit into the role if need be. But
Jalen Williams just signed a max deal, correct? So he has
yeah,
money, can cover a lot of Giannis's. I know it's not a Giannis superstar max, it's a rookie deal max,
yeah,
Jalen's, but it's still a lot of money. He'll cover most of that deal.
right.
I mean, if they wanted to, but you're right though. One thing you mentioned, you said, "What are LA?" I said they don't got what it takes. Then you said after that, see, then what? You're right. There's only that. I think Milwaukee is going to be a look. Be honest, we can't only send you the Knicks. Give us 3 teams, and we'll talk
Yeah,
to all 3 of them. And if
right.
the Knicks come correct, we'll send you there.
Well, that's
I think that's what they're going to do.
something I've also heard is that Alan Hahn was speaking about this on his show,
And I
and
think Giannis is going to work with them
yeah,
too. Okay. I'll consider go somewhere else beside Nick. I think he'll do that for them too.
but
Their
wait,
relation.
not necessarily just that though. But I think there's another pathway for him to come to the Knicks, and this is what Alan
A
Hahn was
3-way
talking
deal.
about: 3-way deal. There's gonna be
How
needs to
would
be
that work,
more.
Maddie?
That's tough. That's complicated. I don't know why you would
Mhm.
get other teams involved. Again,
It has to be good for them too, right?
it has
It's
to be
been done
good for
before.
them. It's got to be sexy for the Bucks, and I think maybe that's a potential way to do it. Like they just got to get more. I feel like they got to get more in this deal. Um, who gets asked
Marbury
out? I'm
came to
not
the
sure,
Nets.
but
Marbury came to the Nets in like a 4-way deal.
yeah,
Sam Cassell was involved. Terrell Brandon was involved.
mm,
Jason Kidd, obviously. No,
yeah,
Jason Kidd. Yeah, Jason Kidd. No, with second, that was I'm talking about when Marbury went from Minnesota to the Nets.
mm,
That was like 5 point good point guards with everybody was slapping point. It was crazy. And I never was like, wait, so I was going to say, how does that actually work? The mechanisms of the 3-way deal and why and who?
right,
And
right.
how do you find a suitor? Who is it?
Well, it's all based on on the cap and everything like that. What makes sense financially, but yet finding that and orchestrating that's a slippery
It's a
slope. It
different
has
thing.
to be, like that's tough, man. But and figuring out what matches, who and is the trade even on all sides in a sense, like that's not easy to do. I if 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 I see Giannis coming to the Knicks, I see it only being just kind of straight up deal. Again, I think the Knicks are gonna have to spend for him, and rightfully so. Give them all the picks they want, give them whoever they want, even if it meant Josh Hart, the fucking OG,
Right.
Bridges,
Somebody was
like
like, oh,
you
want to
know
start trading G's
McBride.
and Mike
All these
Conley.
guys are
I
expendable,
was like,
like
so we're not. So Josh Hart is going to stop us from getting Giannis?
shit. Mitchell
Come
Robinson
on.
too. I'm sorry,
No, you trade
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's
I
they
would
gotta
hate to
go.
lose him and Cap. I would hate to lose him and Cap. I
Right.
would hate that. But we'd have to figure it out because even if it's not going to be this year, we can build something for next year and try
Right,
to make
right.
this.
That's the thing. Yeah, if you kind of if you deplete a little bit of your depth just for the sake of getting him, all right. Maybe this year is kind of a chalk up in that sense, but which you could also still manufacture, make a move outside of that, after the Giannis trade. But now you're asking for a lot. But
Right.
now you look forward to next year or 2 years down the line. You got Giannis for at least 5 years.
They
You
saying that
got
when
Brunson
Giannis,
there.
how old is he? 29.
I believe so. Yeah.
They saying when Dame left here that Giannis checked out. He was done. When they got rid of Dame the
Yeah,
way it
and I
happened and
don't
everything
blame them,
before.
And hey, man, it might end even more sour with the way they're pushing him out. Well, I wouldn't say they're pushing him out, but they're not making it a sexier move to keep him at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just not making it enticing for him to stay. That's the problem. So you got to find a way to keep your guy. And listen, Milwaukee's Milwaukee. I'm kind of surprised. He's been so happy up to this point. I mean, then again, he's won. He's won before back in 21. So, you know, he's got his ring. He served his purpose there. Yeah. Mm.
Can't believe Dame is in Portland again. Unbelievable. Isn't Dame like the athletic director of one of his alma mater now?
Is he? I don't know.
Yeah, it's for Boise State. But anyway, I digress. Don't really get off topic. But yeah, man. Yeah, he is. He's the athletic director for not Boise State. Where'd he go? He went to the other, like Weber State. Weber State.
Mm.
Yeah, in Utah.
You know, Giannis is 31, but you know,
Okay.
still you
So
still got
Brunson is
5
30.
years though. You know, you still got 5 years
Yeah,
out of Giannis, and just dominant. You know,
yeah,
basketball in that sense. You know,
yeah.
so I don't know. You got to find a way,
He's got
man.
he's got the strained calf, yo. You just rest him until he's ready. He's okay until
Yeah.
he's ready. You know, that strained calf. You gotta, you know. But man, I would love for him to come to Broadway, but it's not going to be for free.
Hmm.
It's not going to be for cheap. It's not going to be for cheap either. So you have to understand that
No,
the
but
NBA doesn't owe us anything.
this is a one in a century move right here, man. Like, you need to make it happen. Certainly in the last decade. You know, it's a Brunson type move. You gotta find a way. And while Brunson's still here, don't waste his talent either. You know, I'm not saying that the team that they put around him isn't good, but I just right now I don't
It's not
know if
good
it's good
enough.
enough. I just
No,
don't
it's
think
not.
so. It might be
And
close.
we're,
Might be
I
close.
haven't even, yeah.
Indiana took
I mean,
OKC to 7 games last year.
they did.
You know,
They did. This team is better. This one.
for sure.
They're
Yeah,
experienced. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, the chance. They're better. They're stronger. So we're going to see.
yeah. We'll see, man. Well, Dub, I think that's it for today, bro. Great job.
But
Hell of a
thank you,
job
man.
putting on a show today, holding down the fort, episode 49. Any closing comments for your people? Since, this is pretty much your show tonight. I'll
Oh,
give
man,
it. I'll give it to
listen,
you.
guys. I'll close it out, man. Listen, guys. Like I was saying, holidays is up. Take your time. We're chilling out. No worries, no stress, no pressure. Do everything you can, and that's all you can do, and just show up. Shoot, I'm going with me and Maddie. We got a lot of stuff coming. 40,000 subscribers, Maddie B. I was telling them earlier, that's amazing, like it's crazy, man. And man, I'm excited for 2026. I know it's still early December, but we're gonna have a couple shows before it's all over. But yeah, man. What else? Sports wise, nah, that's all I got. That's all I got. Tomorrow night, NBA Cup. I'm gonna be excited about it because I'm gonna be in the arena for the Heat and the Magic. So I'm gonna be in there with the cool arena tomorrow night. Knicks gonna be playing Toronto. NBA Cup, baby. Everything on NBA Cup. All NBA Cup tomorrow night in NBA. Big games, elimination games, quarterfinals. Let's go. That's it, Matty B.
And our Nixies will be playing in that very NBA Cup that he mentions right now.
Maybe they will hoist the NBA Cup championship and raise it to the Garden Rafters, or maybe in Orlando will raise it up there. An NBA Cup for 2025 NBA Cup champions. But listen, Matty, really, all jokes aside, I want it to be something. I do. And I think eventually it can be. It's just you gotta. In 8-10 years, we ain't gonna be shitting on it. It'll be a little better because we're gonna have the teams who win NBA Cup are gonna create legacies and histories. Like, oh, they did this before they won the NBA Cup. The NBA Cup leads to this. Because I was looking at the NBA Cup winners; they're all good teams
Yes, they are.
and contenders.
Yeah.
And
I
another thing
love the
about it
NBA
is,
Cup. Yeah.
you like it. I like it too.
Yeah.
I like making fun of it, but I like it. I don't like the courts; they're ugly, but I like it. I like
they
it
gotta
too.
do something with that. Yeah. That's a little much.
Um,
There's no reason. It's a little over the top,
Way over the top. So, but
we could paint it up a little bit, new paint, but now, what happened with LA? They had to relocate the game just because it was like unplayable, apparently, because there's so much modifications with their court. That happened with the NBA Cup court. I was like crazy. Like, what are we doing?
That's insane, bro. You guys are overdoing it. You talking about doing too much.
Yeah, clearly.
But these guys are playing for the money. They're playing for that bread, bro, and they're playing. So
right, and I think that's what is going to really inspire it to continue. And the fans love it, man. The fans love competitive elimination type game. Even if you
watch those games, yes, it's gonna happen. You're gonna get the NBA you want in December. Yeah,
I love it.
And so thanks, Maddie. That's all I got, my friend. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Having that confidence in me, as you should, because I'm really good at what I do. So, but thanks, Matt.
There you go. Anytime, man. Appreciate you for holding it down. Those of you that stayed with us all night, I appreciate you. It's been a long night indeed. It's been a beautiful Mental Monday. It's been a great Epis Sports Show. The whole nine. It's the holiday season. All right. You gotta feel the joy and laughter in the air, and enjoy it yourself. Enjoy it with friends. Enjoy it with family. Reach out if you're struggling. If there's something on your mind, reach out to anybody and everybody if you can. I know that's not always the easy thing, but it's a necessary thing. Reach out to us. We're here for you as well.
Yes, we are.
I love you all. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Mental Monday. Everybody that is watching in post, appreciate you as well. Please like, comment, follow, share, subscribe. Keep the notifications on as always. And that is it for us today. It has been one long Monday. I appreciate you as always. Keep showing up.
I've been known to play mine to a T, but it's time for me to lead, picking dirt right out the cleats. Steep path, roadblocks in the streets, trying to knock me off my feet, cause the devil never sleeps. So I don't sleep too, and trying to breach safes that I didn't have the keys to. We all been victims of trauma we ain't agreed to, but the sun comes after, starting up a new chapter.
Isn't it lovely? I ain't looking back and focus on what's in front of me. Everybody day's a number, but I'm still here luckily. I know that God got me, so I'm in for the company.
You know the deal. Keep showing up as always. Have a beautiful Monday night. We'll see you again real soon.
Isn't
Good
it
night,
lovely?
everyone.
Keep showing up.